What if I told you that a man who died in 1972 is becoming more popular every single year? Not a musician, not a politician, a spiritual teacher from Barbados who most people have never heard of. His name is Neville Goddard, and by the end of this video, you are going to see exactly how his rise compares to every major manifestation teacher of the last 2 decades. This is the popularity race of the manifestation world, based on real Google search data from 2004 to 2025, and the results might genuinely surprise you. Let us begin. In 2004, Google Trends begins tracking search interest, and one name towers above everyone else: Deepak Chopra. At this point, Chopra is already a household name. He has been on Oprah multiple times, published dozens of books, and built a wellness empire. He is the undisputed king of the spiritual mainstream. Behind him, Dyer holds solid ground. Dyer has been writing bestsellers since the 70s. His audience is loyal, consistent, and deeply dedicated. Everyone else at this point is barely a blip on the radar. Dispenza is virtually unknown, Neville Goddard is invisible, and Hicks is just starting to build a following through small workshops and recordings. Then 2006 happens, and everything changes. Rhonda Byrne releases The Secret. The documentary goes viral before viral was even a word. Suddenly, the law of attraction is everywhere. Byrne's search interest skyrockets almost overnight. She goes from nobody to the most searched name in the entire manifestation space. Proctor, who appears in the film, gets a significant boost as well. The Secret introduces millions of people to the idea that thoughts create reality. Whether you love it or hate it, there is no denying its impact. This single film created more interest in manifestation than decades of books and lectures combined. But 2007 was just the warm-up. In 2008, something even bigger happens. Oprah Winfrey selects Eckhart Tolle's book A New Earth for her book club, and then she does something unprecedented. She hosts a 10-week online course with Tolle, streamed live to millions of people around the world. Tolle's search interest explodes to the highest point anyone reaches in this entire 20-year period. He becomes the most searched spiritual teacher on the planet. For a brief moment, Eckhart Tolle is bigger than Deepak Chopra, bigger than Rhonda Byrne, bigger than anyone. But here is what is fascinating. That spike does not last. Within a year, his numbers come back down. The Oprah effect is powerful, but temporary. After the fireworks of The Secret and the Oprah era, things settle into a quieter rhythm. Deepak Chopra is still the most consistently searched name, but his numbers are slowly declining. Year after year, his audience is aging, and the internet is changing. Dyer remains steady. Hicks is doing something interesting. Quietly, without any viral moment, without any major media appearance, Hicks is growing, slowly and consistently. Every single year, the search numbers climb a little higher. This is organic growth driven entirely by word of mouth and YouTube. Meanwhile, if you look at the very bottom of the chart, you will notice 2 names barely moving: Dispenza and Neville Goddard, both sitting near zero, both waiting for their moment. In August of 2015, Dyer passes away. Search interest spikes as people look him up one last time. It is a bittersweet moment in this chart, a reminder that behind every data point is a real human being whose words changed lives. After this spike, Dyer's numbers begin a slow decline that continues to this day. But something else starts happening around 2016. Look at the bottom of the chart. Neville Goddard is moving. For the first time in over a decade of data, his bar is growing noticeably. What is driving this? YouTube. A new generation of creators begins discovering Neville's lectures. His books enter the public domain. Podcasts start featuring his original recordings. And people start sharing their success stories in online communities. A man who died in 1972 is being rediscovered by a generation that was not even born when he was alive. In 2017, another pioneer leaves us. Louise, the founder of Hay House Publishing, passes away at the age of 90. Like Dyer, her search interest spikes briefly and then fades. But her legacy lives on through the publishing house she built, which continues to be one of the most important platforms in the spiritual space. Now watch Dispenza. Around 2018 and 2019, his bar starts moving with real momentum. His books, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself and Becoming Supernatural, are reaching a wider audience. His week-long retreats are selling out worldwide, and his approach, which combines neuroscience with meditation, appeals to a new audience that might be skeptical of traditional spiritual language. Dispenza is building something different. He is not just teaching manifestation. He is teaching it through the lens of science, brain scans, and measurable biological change. And people are responding. Then the pandemic hits, and the manifestation world will never be the same. When the world shut down in 2020, millions of people suddenly had time to think, to question, to search for meaning, and they turned to Google. Joe Dispenza's numbers go through the roof. His meditations become a daily practice for people locked in their homes, looking for any sense of control in an uncontrollable world. By 2022, Dispenza reaches the absolute peak of this entire chart. He overtakes every single name: Deepak Chopra, Eckhart Tolle, Abraham Hicks, all of them. Joe Dispenza becomes the most searched manifestation teacher in the world, but he is not the only one growing. Look at Neville Goddard. During the pandemic, Neville's growth accelerates dramatically. He goes from a niche name to a genuine movement. The Law of Assumption community explodes on Reddit, on TikTok, on YouTube. And here is what makes Neville's growth so remarkable. He has no marketing team. He has no new book releases. He has no podcast appearances. He cannot do any of that. He has been dead for over 50 years. His growth is entirely driven by people discovering his ideas and sharing them. In February of 2022, Bob Proctor passes away. Like Dyer and Hay before him, there is a brief spike in searches. Proctor was one of the original teachers featured in The Secret, and his passing marks the end of an era for that generation of manifestation teachers. Which brings us to today, and the current landscape tells a fascinating story. Joe Dispenza remains the dominant force, though his numbers have come slightly off their peak. He is still far ahead of everyone else. But the most interesting story on this chart belongs to Neville Goddard. While almost every other teacher has either peaked and declined or spiked and faded, Neville is still climbing. In 2025, he holds the second highest search interest of any name on this chart. Think about that for a moment. A teacher who gave his last lecture over 50 years ago is now more searched than Deepak Chopra, more searched than Eckhart Tolle, more searched than Abraham Hicks. His ideas about imagination, consciousness, and the feeling of the wish fulfilled are resonating with a modern audience in a way that even he probably never imagined. So, what does this chart really tell us? It tells us that popularity in the spiritual space is not about marketing budgets or viral moments. The Secret created the biggest spike in this entire chart, and it faded. The Oprah effect created the highest peak, and it was temporary. What endures is the quality of the teaching itself. Neville Goddard left behind a body of work so powerful that it is growing faster 50 years after his death than most teachers achieve in their lifetime. And that, to me, is the most powerful manifestation of all. If you are new to Neville's teachings and you want to understand why his ideas are transforming so many lives, I have an entire channel dedicated to exactly that. Make sure you subscribe so you do not miss it. I will see you in the next one.